Hey y'all, it's John Trent from Bounding into Comics. According to Hulk actor Mark Ruffalo, Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige threatened to quit Marvel Studios back in 2012 if he did not get approval for a female starring superhero film. But before we get further into it, I'd like to ask if you could please hit the subscribe button. By subscribing, you help more people see our videos and help us to keep making these videos. We're aiming to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of March. With your help, we can definitely do it. So thank you for subscribing in advance. And if you've already subscribed, thank you so much. So let's get into this. Mark Ruffalo recently spoke with the British publication The Independent, where he detailed a conversation he had with Kevin Feige back in 2012 on the set of The Avengers. As Ruffalo puts it, quote, "When we did the first Avengers, Kevin Feige told me, listen, I might not be here tomorrow. And he's like, Ike does not believe that anyone will go to a female starring super movie. So if I'm still here tomorrow, you'll know that I won that battle." If you've been following the rumors coming out of Marvel Studios for the past decade, this shouldn't come as a surprise. Feige even confirmed that he met resistance from Ike Perlmutter. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter back in November, they asked if Perlmutter's views on diverse films spurred the 2015 change that saw Feige report to Disney Studios chief Alan Horn instead of Marvel chief Ike Perlmutter. Feige answered, "That's part of it." He then added, "There's a lot of sides to the story. You can pick up Bob Iger's book, The Ride of a Lifetime, to learn more. I highly recommend it. But it made sense at that time. We had made 10 movies or more that managerially there was another way to go." In Iger's book, he details there was tension between Marvel's offices in New York and Feige, and specifically detailed it had to do with Black Panther and Captain Marvel. This is what Iger wrote, quote, "Kevin is one of the most talented film executives in the business, but my sense was that the strained relationship with New York was threatening his continued success." He added, "I knew I had to intervene, and so in May 2015, I made the decision to split Marvel's movie-making unit off from the rest of Marvel and bring it under Alan Horn and the Walt Disney Studios. Kevin would now report directly to Alan and would benefit from his experience, and the tensions that have built up between him and the New York office would be alleviated." He continued, "We had a chance to make a great movie and to showcase an underrepresented segment of America, and those goals were not mutually exclusive. I called Ike and told him to tell his team to stop putting up roadblocks and ordered that we put both Black Panther and Captain Marvel into production." So the idea that there was tension between Feige and Perlmutter concerning the direction of Marvel Studios is nothing really new. But back to Ruffalo, he indicates that this 2012 conversation was a turning point for Marvel Studios. Quote, "That was the turning point for Marvel because Kevin wanted black superheroes, women superheroes, LGBT superheroes. He changed the whole Marvel universe." End quote. Whether or not this specific conversation was a turning point is up to debate, but it's very clear that Marvel Studios and arguably Disney at large turned a corner around in the past couple years. This turning point was made abundantly clear with Captain Marvel, not in the content of the film, but with how the film was marketed, especially by star Brie Larson, who made a number of controversial comments regarding the gender breakdown of reviewers, as well as promoting the film as a, quote, big feminist movie. Yes, that's what she called the film. It was far from feminist. It was just generic, even subpar superhero fare that just happened to be wedged in between Infinity War and Endgame. Marvel has since doubled down on that marketing promotion. Feige himself has gotten in on the act. In fact, I would argue he's the actual face of Phase 4 marketing. He made it clear there would be a gay family in the upcoming The Eternals film. We found out recently there will also be a gay kiss on screen involving the Eternal known as Phastos and his husband. The Eternals also race swapped and gender swapped pretty much the entire cast. Along with the Eternals, most of the Phase 4 TV shows appear to be some kind of passing of the torch to new heroes, specifically female characters. Feige was the one who was making all of these announcements at San Diego Comic-Con. At San Diego Comic-Con, they revealed that Natalie Portman's Jane Foster would wield Mjolnir. The She-Hulk TV show is rumored to see She-Hulk be a replacement for Ruffalo's Hulk. The Hawkeye show was specifically revealed at San Diego Comic-Con to be a passing of the torch from Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye to a brand new MCU character in Kate Bishop. Then they also announced Ms. Marvel. And while the marketing has gone this way, the actual product has been rather devoid of it so far. Like I said, Captain Marvel's marketing was inundated with it, but the actual film didn't have those elements in it. It was just a subpar superhero film. I mean, yes, you can argue Annette Bening replacing the original Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel, had that, but I mean, that was just that one little tiny thing, and then the deleted scene where she wrecks the guy on the motorcycle. But overall, it was just kind of your standard MCU fare, and it was bottom of the barrel MCU as far as I'm concerned. And then with Black Panther, it was a Marvel film. Yes, it was like super hyped with the marketing, but again, like I said, that points to it. It was with the marketing. The film product itself was a kind of just solid MCU film. I would say it's probably an average MCU film. I don't think it's in the top tier. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if the MCU attempts to duplicate this strategy. Signal wokeness, deliver little to none. And then sort of back to Ruffalo. So this is what he continued in his little spiel here. And this is what I'm getting at. He's signaling the wokeness. So this is what Ruffalo added. He said, quote, "We now have gay superheroes, we have black superheroes, we have female superheroes. Scarlett Johansson has her movie coming out. We have Captain Marvel, they are doing She-Hulk next. No other studio is being that forwardly inclusive on that level." And this is why this is just purely signaling the wokeness, because this guy must have never heard of the CW. Berlanti and his team is way ahead of Marvel Studios and the MCU on this level of wokeness. Also, the idea that somehow a conversation in 2012 brought women and black superheroes into the MCU is laughable, especially when he mentions Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow in the same breath. It just makes him sound like a pandering weasel, or at the very least, incredibly dim. Does he think people just forgot about War Machine? Does he think Scarlet Witch wasn't around? Nick Fury was literally in the end credits of Iron Man as well, and is the guy who brought all the Avengers together. What is he drinking out there? I don't know. Now, granted, Scarlet Witch was Age of Ultron, so that was a little after 2012. But everything else, like, they already had that. They already had that there. They already had. I don't know what he was thinking when he said that. But only Ruffalo knows. But he must be that he's drinking some pretty strong stuff, because he then states it's not really Feige or Disney doing this out of their kindness of their hearts. We actually get a little bit of truth, and this is where I was saying, again, this points to my idea that they signal this wokeness but provide little to none, and this is what Ruffalo says. They have to signal this wokeness. They have to, though, Ruffalo says. This is the effing world. The culture is way ahead of the politics. Again, goes back to what I was saying before. They might market the superheroes as being woke, but they probably won't actually put it in their products. I could be wrong, though, given some of the people they have, especially given some of the people they have working for them now, Dana Schwartz, what's her name, Bisha K. Ali from Ms. Marvel. It's very clear what their opinions are and how much they hate certain types of people. You can see that on boundingincomics.com. Just search Dana Schwartz or Bisha K. Ali. But back to Mark Ruffalo here. As for him saying that the culture is being ahead of the politics, I think Ruffalo actually believes this, and I actually think he is right on this. But let me explain. He lives in the Hollywood bubble. They believe their lives are culture. The Hollywood bubble definitely is ahead of this type of diversity when it comes to the rest of the United States and the rest of the world kind of embracing it or believing it or buying into it or whatever you want to call it. But fortunately, most of us don't actually live in the celebrity culture, and Hollywood culture actually isn't something we strive to emulate. I think this is becoming, I think you used to emulate Hollywood culture, but in today's day and age, we don't emulate them. It's something we openly mock, and I think that's kind of where we're heading even more. If you pay attention to some of the most popular comedians on the planet, like Dave Chappelle, Ricky Gervais, these celebrities make for some great punchlines and jokes. And that's exactly what Ruffalo is when he makes outrageous comments like this. He's a walking, talking joke. That's my thoughts on the matter. But what do y'all think? What do you make of Ruffalo's comments? What are your expectations? for Phase 4 and beyond for the MCU? Let me know in the comments. My name is John Trent, and you've been watching Bounding into Comics. Until next time.